Okay. I'm going to be showing update on the construction. Well, the um, not the construction, but the renovation. I guess the renovation. Golly, my English is absolutely horrible. I'm gonna be showing the renovation of the kitchen. I'm gonna be talking about some things that we've encountered. As far as I guess spending, I'm gonna talk about that as well. The spending that you do when you're trying to build here in Russia. Hello, my friends. What's up? Yeah, we've been, Ksenia and I have been busy with moving into a new apartment, renovating it, fixing the problems. Uh, nice, Wayne. It is pretty cold these days. If you don't know, here in Siberia, it is becoming the weather has finally reached us because we were actually in a very warm winter. But now it seems that the weather has come. The actual weather, what's supposed to be here, has finally come. Now, we'll let maybe 20 to 25 people come in if they want to tune in, because I think it's going to be pretty interesting just talking about the prices of materials, of different things that have to do with building here in Russia. It's unorthodox to like compared to what I would do in the United States. Shout out to Dallas, Texas. Yeah, like I feel that most of the things that I'm used to building with or fixing things like handyman stuff in the United States, I've grown so used to them. So when I'm trying to do things here in Russia, it's so strange. Even the PVC piping for doing the plumbing for the sink, it's not like it's basically a Legos pieces here in Russia. You just connect and it's done. And it's not so sturdy, but a lot of people think it's like complaining. Quite a few comments on the last video about how I'm complaining about the work. So I also wanted to talk about that because it seems like there's a lot of confusion between reporting what's happening and complaining. So enough of that. By the way, this apartment that we're in, we are renting, right? We're not buying this apartment. And the reason why I'm fixing it is because I want to stay here for about 2 years and I want to be here comfortably. Now, please let me know where you're watching from. It's been a long time since we've done live streams. And yeah, Palmdale, California, nice. Really cool. Hello, Simon, brother. Hello. Yeah, but a lot of people take it as complaining, I guess. The world seems to be a little bit weird. Anyways, I'm gonna walk us over to the kitchen area. I am hoping that the Wi-Fi is working. Um, you're gonna get to see the work is halfway done. Basically, what I've done is I've treated the black mold. Um, I've treated the black mold and I've stopped right before I start scraping it off, and then I'm gonna wipe it with Clorox, and then I'm gonna put some baking soda and vinegar on it. So I'm gonna do like a triple thread on it. I'll put this here just in case. And I'm gonna show you around the oh, this is just the living room area. We had about 3 couches in here. We took them off and we bought a rug. And we kept one of the couches because the owner had so many couches that we just had to just choose one. We told them that they were all broken. I sat on one and I was itching. We bought a carpet and cleaned the thing here up. The sink is there. So I have pieces all over here because I just had to take everything apart. You can see that is where the black mold was, or well, it still is. And I've got some antifungal stuff that I've already sprayed on it. And essentially, what I'm gonna do is redo the plumbing because the plumbing was absolutely horrible. Like all it was is just this random piece. Nothing had any couplings. Nothing was like fastened really tight. So there was a lot of air coming out, man. It was horrible. It was just really bad. This is where the sink area was. And it was connected like this. This is how the sink was. Look, it was that piece coming out like at a 45 degree, and this was just put in there like that. And it was just really, really bad. So I've got the appropriate pieces now. I'm gonna make sure that it's of better quality. I'm gonna make sure that it's not so loose, but this is what I've been doing. Another problem was the hose from the washing machine was so loose and it was spraying all over the wall. So this is the stuff that I'm gonna fix. Now I've already plastered this corner. You see this, all of this was looking like this. So I know that I can fix this because I've already done the majority of the work on that side. And now I just have to do it behind the sink where everything was humid and nothing was tight. The reason why the black mold comes is because the humidity feeds the fungus, and if you don't have the water to feed the fungus, then you're gonna get rid of it. Now, what you need to know is that here in Russia, it's not so expensive to do this renovation. I'm gonna bring you some tools that I bought. I'm gonna talk about the prices. I'm going to share with you also how much we're paying for rent here. This is a 2-room apartment. You saw the kitchen. Yeah. That's my brother. So in the United States, growing up, I learned a lot of handiwork through a stepfather. And basically, this is why I knew I could move into this apartment. A lot of people were saying that, why would you move into such a shitty apartment? Well, the thing is, this is a 2-bedroom apartment. I think it's almost like 50 square meters for $160 a month. This was an affordable housing for Xenia and I. We didn't want to spend $300 to $400 on one that was much better. It's just better to invest a little bit of money into this apartment, get it to livable conditions, because the countertop was rotten. The entire kitchen area was just smelling like sewage. The washing machine was holding black water for, I don't know, maybe like years, maybe half a decade, and it was leaking, and that's where you got all of that black mold. Yeah. Thank you so much, Daryl. I appreciate the support, especially in times like these, because again, people think that it's complaining, but if you guys come to Russia and you want to move to Russia and you don't have a lot of money, this is basically the channel of budgeting. This is the budget channel. I don't live in Moscow. I don't have a large family, and I don't have the support of the government in Russia, which I don't need. I don't want. I don't care about the support. I'm just letting you guys know. If you want to know, like, the most average living conditions in Russia, it's this one. I am a son of immigrants in the United States, so I actually have experience in being an immigrant because my mom was an immigrant and she hustled all her life. I have siblings who are still hustling, and I'm a hustler myself, and this is just the way we live. So I'm gonna bring some tools that I bought, and I'm gonna give you guys the pricing of those tools. This is also a prelude to the full episode, I guess, of summary of what we've been doing in that kitchen and the whole apartment. So if you're watching this live, please tune um, into that video later. No, we will not allow them to raise the rent. Actually, they lowered the rent because we didn't have a bed in this apartment. There was no bed. There was 3 or 4 couches. There was 4 couches, no bed. We bought a bed and they lowered the rent until the bed is paid off. So the landlord is actually playing nice. So I have here some things that I want to show you guys so you guys know the pricing of what the costings are in Russia. Because the sink was in such bad condition, we needed to get a new faucet, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to be reusing the old sink. This is the... I need to keep that. So let me just show you the whole setup. 1 second. Okay, so the problem with this old sink, you can see how dirty it is. The hole where you're supposed to secure the faucet, it was never secure. Everything was just leaking. The old one was very leaky. So I got an appropriate thing down here that's gonna fasten it when we put it in. Now, you can see the quality is not so bad. It's just whoever cut this out did a horrible job and it wouldn't fasten. So you needed to get the backing to fasten correctly. Okay, now I'm going to tell you how much this cost. And you guys can compare. We didn't buy a new sink because it's just very unorthodox and we wouldn't be able to put it back. We weren't able to find one like this. So this faucet here cost 2,145 rubles. That is essentially almost $22 USD, guys. This is almost $22. How much does a faucet cost in your country? This is a pretty nice one, I would say. In Russia, there's not a really lot of options. And well, in this part of Russia, remember, when I say Russia, I'm talking about Siberia in a small town. So this was $22. Is this the normal price for you guys? Wherever you're watching from, is this a normal price for a faucet? When you get a chance, we would appreciate if you could give us an update on the lady's apartment. Yeah, definitely. So I made the most recent video. I gave you guys an update on a new family that we went to go visit. Next week, we're gonna finish the second episode of us giving some help to orphanages or people of low income. As you guys know, perhaps maybe you don't, I'm actually from Los Angeles and I grew up as a low income family, so it's how it is. I want to give back. This channel is pretty old now, 2 years, and I want to use its relevance for giving back to the Russian community because I believe that this channel's purpose now is to help my region. A lot of people are in Moscow and St. Petersburg, but I'm actually in the boondocks. So I'm using this channel to give away thousands of dollars. As long as this channel is alive, that is the purpose of this channel. And There's a big news that I'm going to be breaking on the next video. So yes, this was $22, brand new. It's going to be going in next week as well. Now, for the people who are just tuning in again, my name is Daniel. I'm an American living in Russia, and I'm going to be showing you guys an update on the kitchen again. But I want to show you also the bathroom, and so you see, you walk into the door. This is the entrance here. We have a little light there. You can put your coats out on, take them off. We have our snowboarding gear up here. And this is the toilet. Next to the toilet is the shower. Okay? So they are separate. They're separated by a wall. You have your toilet and you have your shower. Excuse me. Again, this is a mess, guys. And don't worry, I've already sprayed the black mold with antibacterial stuff. Like, I've sprayed it already. Ksenia has cleaned the boards as much as she could. They're really old and dirty. This is really sticky stuff. But I took them off because I'm also making sure that the floor is clean and not humid. And I am using chlorine. Check it out. So first what I'm doing is I'm spraying it with antifungal stuff. Then I'm going to use the chlorine to hit it again. Then finally, I'm going to be scraping it off and repeating the process. This is just how it works, guys. It's going to be a odyssey of me fighting the black mold. Okay. Let me just show you more tools that I have. Okay. I've been working on plastering the old wall, and I have just a few home improvement tools. I have vinegar as well, Rick. I have vinegar as well. So I use this to mix my plaster. And I have these little spatulas. Yeah, this is essentially all I need. And I've been working on that wall for about a week now. I have been using every style of black mold killer, guys. It's listen, I know that the chlorine does not kill the fungus 100%, but it does clean the wall. The reason why I'm using all three methods is because you need to clean the wall, you need to also kill the fungus, and you need to make sure that it never comes back. So the best way of doing that is using multiple steps. I hit it with the antifungal ointment thing, then I hit it with the Clorox, then I hit it with the baking soda. And this is just what it is. I make sure that the mold is dead, and then I plaster it. And if it comes back, then it comes back, and we see what we do from there. But I'm not betting on just that. I'm betting on the fact that all my plumbing is going to be way more fastened and secure. The biggest reason why this was happening is because there was so much water. There was so much water. The plumbing job was horrible here. They didn't really care about this, and they weren't paying attention. Now I'm paying attention. I unplugged everything, and I'm fastening everything. There should be no humidity there anymore because there's not going to be any more water falling from the damn hoses from the washing machine or the faucet. Okay, so guys, I appreciate all your guys's tips, right? I read through all of them, but all I can do is make the plumbing job better, kill the fungus, and replaster the wall if possible, if needed, and then go on from there. So, uh, let's see. Now we can take a quick break and answer some questions. I haven't done lives in a long time, and if you are new to the channel, just go ahead and ask. Um, I would like to answer some questions. It's been a long time. Upside down canned air could freeze it. Yeah, there's a lot of ways of killing black mold, guys. Anybody have any questions about living in Russia? Again, because we have this new apartment, I can tell you exactly how much everything costs. I now have the price of internet now. If you're watching me, this is the internet that I'm using, and it costs 1,000 rubles a month. Not in Moscow. Never. I've only been to Moscow one time. I don't know why people keep thinking I'm in Moscow. The big announcement is just that a very generous subscriber donated a big amount of money, and it's gonna change a lot of people's lives. I mean, usually I'm used to breaking news on lives, and so I guess I will tell you guys. Um, so this is the news. Um, we did the video of us helping out the orphanage, right? If you guys have seen that video, you know that in this video I said that every dollar made by that video was going back to the people, back to the orphanage, back to people who needed help. And the big news is this. The speed here is supposed to be 100 something per whatever. 1 second. What is it? It was we have supposedly 100 mega something megabits per second, or that's what we're supposed to get, but it's not always what you get. Usually goes to like 70 through something else. So depending on how many people are on the Wi-Fi, it could be from 50 and up. But we're supposed to, I'm paying for 100 megabits per whatever I'm not really tech savvy. Anyways, I'm gonna break the news now. I made a video with Xenia where we went to an orphanage and we helped people uh, with buying stoves, with buying toilets, renovating their apartments, because I believe that this channel basically hit a new purpose. I don't want to be another Westerner who's just showing you a bunch of stuff. I want to be a Westerner who's giving back to the community. Because of Russia, this channel exists. You would not be interested in Russia, and this channel would not exist. So I thought, okay, I might as well give back to the people who I care about the most. Growing up, I grew up hungry, and growing up, I grew up in a very ghetto situation. So we were reached out by a subscriber, and the subscriber first gave $1,000. Okay, pay attention because this is gonna get crazy. For $1,000 here in Siberia, it goes really far. So he said, I want to help people, and said, okay, I will be your vessel here. And essentially, in that video, you'll see that we bought a bunch of stuff and really helped people out. I promised 100% of all the money would go back to the people from that video, and a very generous subscriber sent $10,000. And I'm not exaggerating, this is just the number that happened. A subscriber gave us $10,000, and this is without accounting the, I think, 500 or 600 that were donated in the video, and another I think it was another almost 1,000 were donated inside of Russia, Spare Bank, right? So overall, we managed to get around $13,000. And I'm saying it publicly now, you guys are watching. But I'm going to make a full video talking about this. One person donated $10,000. Now, with those $10,000, what we're planning on doing is, right now it's sunny and maybe negative 20. But anyways, here in Russia, you can put your money in the bank and it builds interest very fast. You get about 20 to 22% interest on your money. So I talked with the person who donated that amount of money, and I'm gonna let the rest of the people know is that every month we get about from that money. I let me see, from the $10,000 plus, I put in my own money. So I put in 10,000 more, right? I gave my own $10,000 and I put it in a bank account, and we're letting it build interest, and every month it should give about $300 to $400 a month. Now, the original donation was $1,000 and we did so much with it. So every month I'm going to be donating with that money $300 to $400, or at least trying to find people who need help. That is the big announcement. We are going to build a nonprofit organization here in the shores of Lake Baikal. That's what I've been working on also. The 25, soon to be $25,000 that we have in a savings because of the donations and because I've doubled the money, uh, is going to be a nonprofit. It's just every time we get paid by the bank for the interest, it's going to be pushed out to produce a video and help people in need. We're going to be building a food bank. We're going to be buying clothes for orphanages and stuff like this. So this is going to be next week when that video comes out, me explaining it. So people who are watching live basically know ahead of time. I am no longer interested in views. I'm no longer interested in attention, I guess. I was never interested in attention, but like more than ever now, I think the channel has reached a peak where it's a bunch of bots, it's a bunch of uh, I don't know, when you get a channel this big, it just really hits a limit, and it is what it is. How the idea of food storage concept come along? How is the idea of food storage concept move coming along? Are you meaning like our farm? Because this year we're gonna be doing a lot of farming again, or a lot of gardening, and we will be uh, basically taking care of some of the food and jarring it and drying it and using it. But right now, as I'm talking, like this $24,000 that we have in the bank, it's going to be building interest, and we're going to be opening up the food bank. We're going to be opening up the secondhand clothes if people want to send, or if we buy new clothes with the money. That's the big announcement. So, this night, yeah. We are doing that stinging metal. We are going to be doing a lot of gardening and storing a lot of the food this year. We're actually still using some of the vegetables that we had, some of the vegetables and the herbs that we had from last year. We're still eating them this year. And this year we're going to be doing way more gardening. Yeah. So one day I hope to meet you if you ever travel back to California. I don't think I'm going back to California anytime soon, especially because I don't want to be separated from my wife. And my wife cannot enter the United States, so I will not be without her. Yes. Guys, does anybody have any other questions um, about life in Russia, about anything to do with our new apartment? As you can see, my background is different. Feel free to ask anything. It's been a long time since I've done a live. I understand I have to build back the community. How is the weather? Okay, let's check the weather forecast. What's my favorite Russian food? Anything my wife cooks, but her father is probably the best cook, and he makes an insanely good borscht. Yes, I've gone ice fishing. Right now it is -10, but it's sunny outside, guys. I have been ice fishing and I've already caught a couple fish. And I am renting this apartment because I am building a house on the side, guys. A lot of people think uh, that I'm buying this or whatever, but no, I am renting this because I want to start a family, but I'm also building my house. What is the most common fish you catch in the lake or pond? Uh, Pike and perch. How is your Russian learning? Was it easy for me? I'm still not really learning yet. I understand a lot, and I've been actually to a lot of classes of teaching like English for fun, and I use a lot of my Russian. What is my favorite village or city? My favorite city is probably from the big cities, it's St. Petersburg because it's just the biggest city I've ever seen in my life. And my favorite town is Slyudanka, where I live now. It's just a very peaceful place. Have I been doing MMA? No, I haven't. I'm a little bit chunky, but I'm going to be looking into entering a gym, like a mixed martial arts gym this year. I want to be doing like sambo or combat sambo or jiu-jitsu here in Russia just because I need to be doing exercises and I used to do a lot of mixed martial arts in the military. What do I normally grow? What do we normally grow? We grow potatoes, we grow zucchini, we grow a lot of herbs, we grow um, carrots. So yeah, we do this a lot of things that Russians normally eat, like beets, potatoes, dill. We grow it at our garden. We have over 1,200 square meters, so it's a lot of space to farm. Curious, why do you choose an apartment that requires so much maintenance to fix? Um, yeah, so the reason why we're choosing something that's a lot of maintenance is because it's actually only one thing. It's only one thing. It's the walls and the black mold. And the rent is only $160. So if I would have gone to an apartment that cost $300 a month and it's already fixed, in 2 years, the difference is maybe $140. I rather put in one time $140 and live in a big apartment because this is a big apartment, but it's just got that mold and there was no furniture. So if I put in maybe $500, it makes it worth it, right? You just have to really outweigh the pros and cons. It doesn't make sense to pay too much for an apartment because in Russia, I feel like, and you probably know this too, Gray, I feel like they overprice everything. Russians overprice, and if you take the deal, the first deal, you're probably going to have a very bad deal. But if you look around and you kind of plan it out a little bit, I've already calculated the amount of money that I'm going to spend in 2 years here, and it's very, very low. At $160 a month, with electricity bills and water bills being only about $20 at most a month with internet, totally worth it. Totally worth it. Um, oh, I see. So with my farm, I can help out the community. Yes, of course. And a lot of the foods that we have, um, a lot of I guess a lot of things that I want to give back to the people could be mostly material objects that help them in their houses. I don't want to be giving my own food because if they get sick, I don't want to be responsible for that. But like canned foods and stuff like that, definitely. Nice. So you decided not to go back to St. Petersburg, eh? By the way, Gray is an American who was in St. Petersburg and he recently came to Irkutsk Oblast and it looks like he's finding his own path here away from the usual path that a lot of Westerners take. They go to St. Petersburg or Moscow. Now, Gray looks to be liking Irkutsk Oblast and the different lifestyles that we have here. So, I guess if there's no more questions about pricing or I don't know, it's yeah, it is what it is, guys. Um, I would really appreciate it if you tune in on the next episode, which is gonna be a summary of the kitchen thing. And it's then next week it's gonna be a summary of the help that the Westerners and the Russians have given for the people of Russia. Again, this channel is going to be dedicated now to just helping and giving back because, you know, we're not here for a long time and a lot of us live way better than others. And through the YouTube, you can definitely spread awareness and help people that deserve it more than us. You know, I like to be stoic about it. Vaughn, thank you, brother. Make my apartment great again. Yeah, it's gonna be a huge change here. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you, Fred. I really, really, really appreciate it, man. You know, I think you're gonna really enjoy the next week's episode when we show you the differences, Fred, because of the conditions that I saw were horrific and people were living basically with nothing. So yeah, um, I don't know, I just feel like I hit a new part in my life here in Russia. I know a lot of people come for the wrong reasons. I've encountered a lot of bad people here in Russia, and I just want to be a good positive version of a Westerner. I don't know. Yeah, it feels even strange talking, right, about this, but the amount of evil that you run into, the amount of egotistical stuff that you run into, it becomes overwhelming. And sometimes you want to tune off. You know, you start a channel and you have an idea for it, but then it just, the community is a little bit strange, and then you yourself change in the path. And I think there's only one goal for me now is just to use every resource that I have to help my region, um, because I want to have my kids in this town. I want to have my family grow in this town, and this region is special for me. But again, I don't know. I guess I've hit a wall. I've hit a wall in my head of the things that I want to do and the things that I want to show to people. Um, I want to show people the fishing. Obviously, I'm going to go fishing. I want to show people the nature, but I also want to be talking about the problems that you might face. So I guess this channel is just going to be staying the same. It's only me who has changed a lot inside, because I feel like I have a responsibility outside the camera to produce happiness for some people who I've invested my soul into. And if you come to this region, you'll see yourself, I promise. In this last 2 months, I've had 6 subscribers come to Sludanka, right? I've showed them Lake Baikal, I've showed them the nature here. So like 6 subscribers have come to my town, and they've seen this place with their own eyes. And I think that if you guys have the opportunity to, I can house you and I can show you around. But it's just really difficult to sometimes continue on a YouTube with so much crazy stuff going on. And I am a little bit burned out also about the conflict between my country and the Russia and the state in which Russia is in right now. I've lived in Russia almost 3 years, you see, and I've lived through it with my wife through like 2 years of the conflict, of these dumb sanctions that really didn't do anything, with the hate that comes with it, with the paranoia that comes with it. Yeah, I'm just rambling on. The longer I stay, I would just ramble on about these things. Again, it's not complaining, it's just real life. There's nothing else. I think for some people, yes. For some people who come for different reasons, they will experience something else. But it's been like, I feel like it's getting better. I feel like things have gotten better since I've got here. They've been better. I've uh, I've became optimistic. But what the thing is, what I'm trying to say is, I've lived through it all. I never expected to go from one country like the United States and fighting a war and being in a bunch of miserable situations. And then I went to Europe, and then I've traveled throughout the world, and I ended up in Russia. And I've been like in a unique situation, being a military veteran, being an American, having the life that I've had, starting a channel, and then doing these lives. It really makes me think. It really makes me think about the journey. Um, it's surreal sometimes when I think about it. But any other questions? I don't want to just ramble on. King Food Sludanka is awesome, man. A lot of the people who come here now know it because of the old videos, and they really like it. What is your overall view on living in Russia? So my overall view in life in Russia is that people come here for many different reasons, and everybody. Okay, I got it. I consider myself a clown, and every clown must choose his circus, right? You must choose your circus. So, living in Russia, you have the same problems as the rest of the world, and then you have Russian problems. And when you're a foreigner, they kind of hit you different. They're a little bit more annoying. Like the problems in Russia annoy me because they're different. But Russia is like any other country. This is like they just it's like everything else. I don't know. Russia, the only dark side of Russia is just when it's like sex tourism or uh, people who come here for bad reasons. This is the one thing I don't like. And I've met a lot of them, and I guess this is why I've become the person I am. Like I've tried to get away from that. Hola desde Mexico. Do you have any thoughts and experience regarding during business in Russia? So business in Russia is absolutely good if you have the money to start it and you have the idea. So Russia is a little bit behind. Whether they want to admit it or not, Russia in a lot of places is very behind technology wise, socially wise. Just every type of industry in Russia is a little bit behind. It's not Russia's fault. It's just the reality is that you can come to Russia with a good idea, and if you have money, you can absolutely thrive. And I don't believe that it should be too hard for you to bring an idea and invest in Russia. It's just you might run into some hiccups, and that's what it is. Hey, I'm from India. With the cost of living in Russia, what's the cost of Russia? What's the cost of Russia? So if you come to Russia and you come to a place like where I live, you can spend about $170 to $300 a month with rent and food. Depending on what town you're in, this is the low income. But you can spend up to $500 to $800 for medium income, and you can spend more than $1,000 to $1,700 for high maintenance living. Russia is huge, and I live in a low income part of Russia. Hey bud, hope you and the missus are good. Love your videos. Can you show more of nightlife? I don't have a nightlife here in town. For nightlife, you're gonna have to tune into like Moscow people. But I guess I can go to the city and try to look for this stuff. I'm 35 years old, yeah, and I like to dance, but like nightlife and go looking for birds, I don't do that. Do you plan on having anything like chicken, sheep? No, only vegetables for now because I will be traveling after the house is built. I want to go take a vacation to Russia, to Mexico, sorry. Hey brother, I am Mexican, 25, unlimited spend. Where do you recommend me go to, St. Petersburg or Moscow? If you have the money to spend, don't go to St. Petersburg or Moscow. If you want to find a wife, this is not the right place to come. I know a lot of people who look for wives here in Russia. I mean, I didn't look for a wife. I guess I just found a wife, but I didn't even love her before I loved or the idea of being here. And I can say that as a man because I've been into many places and I've had a crazy life as a military man. So you shouldn't find a wife in Russia. This is not a good idea. If you're planning on finding a wife, it's the one of the reasons why I say it's not good. Okay? A woman in Russia can smell your money from a mile away. A woman in Russia can smell that you are desperate to find a woman. A woman in Russia can use you as fast as any woman in any other country, but Russians have a culture of doing this because they themselves were used in the 1990s as mail order brides. Ukrainian women right now are all over the world, and culturally, Ukrainians and Russians are really similar. There's a lot of Ukrainians and Russians on OnlyFans. There's a lot of Russians and Ukrainian women who are out as escorts. Brother, you do not want to get involved in that kind of stuff. And I'm saying this as a realist. A lot of people are not going to tell you this. I know some people, I know some guys personally who are dating, who are in their 50s or who are in their 60s, and they come to Russia. I mean, you're young. You said you were 25. But I met a guy who was 60 years old and he wanted to date an 18-year-old Russian girl. So he's mentally sick. This is a pedophile because this is a pedophile. Even though the girl is old enough, like I know some guys in their 40s and their 50s who want to date 18-year-old girls. This is pedophilia mind. And what I'm trying to tell you is do not fall into that. Do not fall into that. I don't care about what their choice is, but if you want to find a woman in Russia, she is going to definitely, she's going to get you, man. She's going to get you. You're going to lose your money. Yeah. Sorry that it got dark, but a lot of people don't hear this. A lot of people are not told that they are nasty, that they are trying to do something that they shouldn't, but I'm here to be the honest guy and let you know. Yes. By the way, one of the guys that came here, he was in his 60s. He was actually such a pedophile that he was touching himself in front of my wife, my fiance at that time. So like we do have these nasty Americans who are only in this country for sex. Hello, Leonard. Hello. Any other questions? If you're looking for a wife in Russia and that's your sole reason of coming, do not do it, guys. Do not do it. Yes, the majority of the people would identify as Orthodox, uh, but here in different regions, we have majority of different religions. Orthodox is not the majority religion in every region in Russia, but it is probably the biggest majority in all of Russia. Russia is separated into different republics, oblasts, and territories. Not every territory has the same group. Yeah. Yes, of course. Yes, yes. There is every religion here. Men and women should follow the half plus seven rule. Half the age older than the person and add seven. Yes. I don't care. People could do whatever they want. Would I ever consider moving back to the United States? I would never move back to the United States. If I move out of Russia, I'm moving back to Mexico. Okay, if I move out of Russia, I will just live in Mexico. The economy is a lot more stable right now in Mexico. The economy is growing in Mexico. The weather is better in Mexico. And Ksenia absolutely loves Mexico, and I'm actually wearing the Mexican football jersey right now. By the way, I have a Mexican wife of 36 years, including my active duty days. Wow, that's amazing, brother. Really, really happy for you. What do you think of this dollar and euro collapse? I don't think that they're collapsing. You have to wait until they absolutely collapse to even call it a collapse. A slow decline is not a collapse, guys. A lot of people would consider the ruble already collapsed. So it's not. Have I met John Dugan? I don't meet with those kind of people. Like, I'm in my own realm, right? I'm not a extremist. I didn't leave my country because I think my country is a failed country. I love my country. My country gave my mother everything that it has. Is Mexican food popular in Russia? Absolutely not, Fred. In fact, in Russia, we don't have the ingredients to cook Mexican food. We lack about 90% of every natural ingredient in Russia to make Mexican food. It's absolutely impossible to cook Mexican food in this country. We don't have the spices, we don't have the corn, we don't have the corn in the quantities that we need to make Mexican food. I love Mexican food. Are you planning on visiting a South American country? Yes. I plan on visiting Peru or Bolivia. And as far as Europe, I want to go to Serbia. I want to take Xenia to Serbia and Spain. Yes. So yeah, this is this is the reality of living in Russia, guys. We don't have Mexican food, and we have uh probably, I would say, a very carefree society. So I do like that. I do like that. Like, nobody in Russia is bothering you. That is a carefree society. If you tune out, you're very unlikely to be in the political stuff here. Yes, the reason why I want to go to Serbia is because the Serbian subscribers of this channel have been amongst the most loyal of all. Serbian subscribers are absolutely loyal, and I'm really proud to have Serbian subscribers. Of course, the rest of the world is awesome, but I just wanted to say regrets. My only regret of being in Russia, let me see. I guess I have, no, not only one. There's no regrets about living in Russia. It's just there's some things that I don't like. Recently, a subscriber of mine came to Russia, and he bought an apartment in Sludanka. This is another video I'm going to be making. I'm going to be making a video about my friend who bought an apartment in Russia, in my town, but the Russian way was really racist against foreigners. I understand Russia has a list of unfriendly countries, but the system is making it very hard for foreigners to actually come to Russia, buy property, assimilate to Russia. It seems like Russia is making laws that make it really difficult. So one thing that I don't like about Russia is that it's becoming less friendly for foreigners. And nobody's going to tell you that, but it's the truth. One person didn't want to sell the he's from Australia, I'll tell you that. He's from Australia. So Russia's pushing out a lot of yes, exactly, counterproductive laws. Russia is shooting itself on the foot. Not a lot of people will say that, and people will hate me for saying that, but it's the truth. The problem in Russia is that they're over adjusting, and he's white. He's white. But I mean, race has nothing to do with it. This is the thing. Like, in Russia, it's your nationality. I love my town. In Russia, it's your nationality, not your race, that matters. The Russian people do not care about your race. They care about what your nationality is. If you're carrying a passport from an unfriendly country, it's going to be very difficult for you. There was no language barriers. We had Ksenia with us the entire time. It's just it's it's just it's just unfriendly right now to foreigners. Paperwork wise, of course, you can pay extra money to not show your face, and you can pay extra money so that your paperwork gets done, but it's just what happens. So, let's see. What else can I tell you? Another thing that I don't like about Russia is the fact that not everything in Russia is the same from city to city. Okay? From city to city, like paperwork or how you're treated during like through the system is going to change. The same process is not the same here in Irkutsk than it is in Moscow. So that's one thing that I really don't enjoy, is that some people don't know how to register you. Some people don't know how to do business with foreigners because they the different systems, right? So yeah, yeah, it's just what it is. So Russia made family values, shared values, but I don't know. I don't think that values should be a reason why you should be immigrating to a place, because your values change, right? Every day you can learn something new and you can change as a person for good or for bad. And a lot of people who come to Russia don't have Russian values because they're not Russian. How can you understand Russian values if you're not Russian? So that in itself is a fallacy. It's a fallacy. This is a fallacy. You cannot immigrate to a place based on your Russian values when you've never lived in Russia or understand Russian society. Yeah, it is what it is. But again, I don't want people to get offended. It's just the truth. You just have to be a realist. You have to understand that Russia needs people who want to be good. Russia needs people who want to assimilate. Russia needs people who are willing to invest in the economy. That is it. This whole mentality thing is a horrible way of looking at it. Could you do a video on the town you live in? Yes, I will. Of course I will. This year I hope to reach at least 90,000 subscribers, because I'm trying to get the channel to 100,000 so that I can give the plaque or dedicate the plaque to my town. And so I'll do anything people ask me to do, like on top of what I feel I should be doing, right? But yeah, I feel like this channel is probably the only channel that is real and talking about the real stuff. We are looking to bring Mexican food to Russia. No, you don't have it all. There is no ingredients right now. You can't produce enough ingredients to make Mexican food here. There is already a lot of Mexican restaurants now, but they're failing because the taste is absolutely Russian. There's no authentic taste. Russians don't want to eat Russian food. Russians want to eat Mexican food. So if you cook Mexican Russian food, it's not going to be tasty. You don't have the ingredients here. How easy to get to corn there is no corn tortillas here. Corn doesn't exist here in the way Mexicans use corn. We don't have corn here in Russia the way Mexicans use corn. Anybody who says it does, they're lying. But it's just besides corn, we don't have the spices, the herbs, and the chilies. Yeah. Well, guys, it's been about an hour. I guess this live probably was not so entertaining. I'm sorry. I'm going to give you guys one last look at the kitchen to see how rotten it is. But you cannot import it. Not right now during the sanctions. You cannot import it. It would cost too much money. It would not be worth it. We are working on getting Senya Mexican citizenship. So this is how the kitchen is looking now. Remember what it looks like, because it's not going to look like this for long, guys. I'm going to make it great again. Yes, so the quality of the tortilla matters a lot. You can't just simply buy tortillas and roll it up. By the way, you guys want to see how sunny it is here? There's the sun. It's a blue sky, sunny day. I'm not scared of doing work. I'm not scared of fixing it. You cannot make the tortilla without the proper corn and the proper ingredients to make the corn smash. Thank you so much for joining, guys. I hope you enjoyed this live. A new episode is coming out tonight. Please go look at the old episode that I recently published. And again, I'm not complaining. It is what it is. This is the life out here. For the hell of it, what time is it military time? It is almost 1400. It is 1341. Goodbye, my friends.